Most people think that when the economy crashes, when prices skyrocket, and when opportunities seem to vanish overnight, the only logical way to survive is to pull back, hide your resources, and run away to wherever things look easier. But what if the exact place of your greatest lack is actually the fertile soil for your greatest harvest? You are about to discover how one man faced a devastating economic collapse, and instead of just surviving by the skin of his teeth, he built undeniable generational wealth. We are going to look closely at a blueprint that completely shatters the modern anxiety we all feel about money and security. And if you stay with me until the very end of this video, I am going to give you a specific 3-step modern strategy drawn directly from this ancient story that you can apply to your own finances and family life tomorrow morning to start seeing immediate change. Welcome to Principios Eternos, where we take the profound, timeless wisdom of the Bible and apply it directly to your everyday life, your finances, and your relationships. If you are looking for real peace and practical direction in these uncertain times, I invite you to subscribe right now so you never miss a principle that could completely change your trajectory. We have all been taught that prosperity requires perfect conditions. You need the right economy, the right boss, the perfect moment to start that business, or the ideal season to invest in yourself. Therefore, when a crisis hits, our natural human instinct is absolute panic. We freeze, we stop learning, we stop giving, and we certainly stop investing in our future because we are terrified of losing the little we have left. Thousands of years ago, a man named Isaac found himself in the exact same terrifying position. A severe famine had struck the land. In the ancient world, a famine was not just an inconvenience or a slight dip in the stock market. It meant total economic paralysis. It meant watching your livestock wither and wondering how you were going to feed your family the next week. Isaac's immediate reaction was the same as ours would be. He packed his bags and looked toward Egypt. Egypt represented the world system. It had the Great Nile River, a stable economy, and predictability. It was the easy way out. But before he could cross the border, God spoke to him and told him something completely counterintuitive. He told Isaac not to go to Egypt, but to stay right where he was, in the land of Gerar, right in the middle of the drought. Think about the sheer cognitive dissonance of that instruction. Stay in the place of lack. Do not run from the problem. How many times have you wanted to abandon a difficult season in your life? Maybe you want to quit a tough phase in your marriage, walk away from a struggling career, or simply give up on your financial goals because the inflation and the bills are just too overwhelming. We constantly seek our own personal Egypt, hoping a change of scenery will magically solve our lack of discipline or our deeply rooted fears. But Isaac listened. He stayed. And then he did something that defied all human logic. Isaac took his precious seed, the very grain he could have baked into bread to feed his family that day, and he planted it in the dry, cracked earth of a land suffering from severe drought. From a purely logical standpoint, this was financial suicide. You do not waste precious resources when there is no rain in the forecast. But Isaac understood a principle that most of us desperately need to learn today. Prosperity does not depend on the weather. It depends on your obedience, your vision, and your willingness to take calculated action when everyone else is paralyzed by fear. Because he planted during a famine, the Bible tells us he reaped 100-fold in that exact same year. He became rich, and his wealth continued to grow until he became very wealthy. But why did this actually work, and how does planting seed in the dirt relate to your bank account right now? When there is a crisis, the majority of people consume their seed. They spend their extra time worrying, scrolling through negative news, and complaining about the state of the world. Your seed is not just your money. Your seed is your time, your energy, your skills, and your faith. When everyone else is retreating, that is the exact moment you must invest in yourself. Read that book. Take that course to improve your skills. Start that small side business from your kitchen table. Nurture your family with intentional love instead of ambient anxiety. Isaac prospered because he kept working the soil of his life when his neighbors had abandoned their fields. There is a hidden detail in how Isaac managed this sudden wealth that most people entirely miss.
And it is the exact reason he did not lose his fortune the very next year. Before we uncover that profound secret, if this story is already bringing clarity to your current situation and helping you see your struggles in a new light, hit that subscribe button to join our family here at Principios Eternos. We are building a community of people who refuse to live in fear. So, Isaac experiences this massive harvest. He has more crops and livestock than anyone around him. Naturally, this brought intense envy from the local Philistines. They didn't just gossip about him, they actively tried to destroy his livelihood by filling all the wells his father Abraham had dug with dirt. In a desert climate, water is the absolute currency of life. Without water, your massive harvest means nothing because you cannot sustain it. This brings us to the most crucial lesson about handling a crisis. Surviving the initial shock is only half the battle. Sustaining your peace and your prosperity requires you to dig wells. When the Philistines stopped up his wells, Isaac didn't start a war. He didn't waste his energy arguing with people who were committed to misunderstanding him. He simply moved a little further away and dug another well. They argued over that one too, so he moved again and dug another. Finally, he dug a well that no one fought over, and he named it Rehoboth, which means room to flourish. How much of your precious energy is currently being wasted fighting petty battles? Maybe you are arguing with family members over things that don't matter, or letting the toxic environment at your workplace drain the energy you should be using to build your own future. Isaac's perseverance shows us that sometimes you have to walk away from conflict to protect your peace. You have to keep digging until you find your Rehoboth. Digging a well is hard, unglamorous work. It means reestablishing foundational habits. It means getting up 30 minutes earlier to pray and set your mind right before the children wake up. It means tracking your expenses meticulously, even when the numbers are scary to look at. It means holding on to your faith when the circumstances scream that you have been abandoned. This reveals the deeper struggle we all face. The real issue keeping you awake at night isn't just the math in your bank account. It is the silent, terrifying fear that you are not capable of protecting your family from the storms of life. It is the anxiety that despite all your hard work, you will end up empty-handed. We look at the news, we look at the grocery receipts, and we feel a profound sense of powerlessness. But Isaac's story is a mirror held up to that exact fear, proving that your security is not tied to the global economy. Your security is tied to eternal principles that work in any climate. You have the power to break the cycle of panic. You do not have to be a victim of your circumstances. And that brings me to the gift I promised you at the beginning of this video. This is the 3-step strategy you can apply right now to crisis-proof your life, based entirely on Isaac's journey. First, stop running to Egypt. Identify the area in your life where you are trying to escape instead of doing the hard work. Face your reality today. Look at your debts, look at your relationship struggles, and commit to stay implanted and finding a solution right where you are. Second, plant your seed in the drought. Decide today what you are going to invest in yourself. If money is tight, invest your time. Take 1 hour a day that you previously used for worrying or watching television and use it to learn a new skill, to pray, or to plan a better budget. Act with absolute discipline precisely because times are hard. Third, redig the wells of your fathers. Return to the basic, unshakable truths of your faith. Unplug from the noise of the world and reconnect with the quiet voice of God. Protect your peace fiercely and refuse to engage in unnecessary conflicts that drain your spirit. Prosperity is not an accident of geography or timing. It is the deliberate result of working faithfully when it hurts, trusting deeply when it makes no sense, and keeping your eyes fixed on a long-term horizon. You are equipped to handle whatever crisis is in front of you, not because the world is easy, but because the principles you stand on are eternal. If you apply this wisdom, you won't just survive the famines of life. You will find your own Rehoboth, and you will absolutely flourish. Suscríbete y sigue aprendiendo principios que transforman vidas.